Hello and welcome to Mandalay Bay, outside of the NFL Media Center and the NFL Experience. Luis Lopez with me. I'm Chaz Messman. It's been a great couple days so far at the Super Bowl. Last night we got the opportunity to check out opening night and speak to the players of both teams to start things out.
Yeah, our first opportunity to really see how players are feeling ahead of this one. Obviously, it's a matchup of two of the NFL's great teams this season. They came into this year hoping they'd be Super Bowl contenders, and well, we have just that. It's been kind of a unique route for each team, especially the Chiefs. They've usually been outly dominant every single year, and this year they've had to kind of go through some bumps and really ride their defense all the way to this game.
Yeah, and that was something that players last night talked a lot about. I remember Travis Kelce mentioned, those bumps and bruises have allowed them to be able to come closer as a team and build up so that they peak at the right moment, and that right moment has been the playoffs. Obviously beaten last week the number one seed Baltimore Ravens, exactly, yeah, on the road, holding them to only 10 points, the presumptive league MVP. Like you mentioned, that defense balling out. They held Lamar Jackson, Chris Jones, Humphreys, all those guys have been balling out all season long.
Yeah, you mentioned Chris Jones. We had a chance to talk to him last night. I actually shared kind of a funny interaction with him. So last year, obviously, the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl as well, and we were able to cover that game as well. And I asked Chris Jones last year, hey, how do you feel about your defense maybe not getting the respect it necessarily deserves? Not many people were talking about that Chiefs defense last year, and he kind of joked with me. He was like, we suck. We don't have any good players. The coaching's awful. And he just obviously was saying that sarcastically. So I asked him again yesterday, it's like, how do you feel now that your defense has that respect? Because everybody's talking about this Chiefs defense. And he gave me the exact same reaction. He was like, oh no, we still suck. So I was a little impressed by the consistency there, but clearly the Chiefs are just tuning out all the noise. I don't think they really care about any of that stuff. So it's been really impressive to see them get so much better this year, and obviously again it's brought them back to another Super Bowl.
Yeah, and something that they did show respect to was the opponent. I mean, Travis Kelce mentioned how much respect he had for that 49ers defense, all the different star players. We know that they have Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, Travarius Ward, the list goes on and on of those superstars on defense, and I think they're excited for the challenge. This is probably going to be the best defense that they faced maybe outside of the Ravens all season, and they've done it. And the offense for the 49ers is also just as experienced, and that's what makes this such a fun game, because there's so many superstars all over the field on both sides of the ball that can really have an impact on this football game.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned that 49ers star-studded offense, and we actually got a chance to talk about some of the Arizona connections that that offense has. Obviously, a couple different players. Brock Purdy, of course, the Arizona native out of Queen Creek, Perry High School alum. He kind of talked about the impact that program had on him as a player and how much it's helped him get to this point. We also had a chance to talk to Brandon Ayuk as well, the Arizona State product. He mentioned, of course, pretty much the same thing, how much that program has had an impact on him and how it's really helped him get to this point. And Chaz, you've covered Arizona State football in the past. He was a stud for them.
I mean, Brandon Ayuk was an absolute star, first-round pick for a reason. I asked him what his favorite memory was playing for the Sun Devils. Kind of knew what the answer was going to be. It was upsetting Oregon when they were in the top four, basically knocking them off of the playoff that season. He scored the game-winning touchdown. I mean, the celebrations were unbelievable. The students, myself included, all stormed the field, and it was just a great night, and no surprise that was what he wanted. Also, you got to mention one of his former college coaches, Antonio Pierce, the new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, playing right across the street back over there next season.
Yeah, and he was very excited about that, as are many who were able to work with Pierce over at Arizona State. So we all know that was a very popular pick among the players, so hopefully it ends up working out for the Raiders next season. And hey, speaking of players who are popular, or at least working popular with their fellow teammates, we also got a chance to talk to Alex Barrett yesterday, who was actually born in Yuma, so the Desert Southwest with a direct connection to this year's big game. Now Barrett's more of a practice squad player, but he's still an important piece for this team. We had a chance to talk to a 49ers beat reporter yesterday who shared just how vital he was.
Yeah, he talked about how the fact that Alex Barrett is one of those guys you can bring up on the certain game day depending on what you need for that specific game. He knows the playbook. He's been with the 49ers for a couple of seasons, so he really has an impact within the locker room and can have an impact on the field when needed.
Yeah, absolutely. And Barrett, a regional connection as well. He went to San Diego State, where he was a very successful defensive player there.
Two-time Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really get any better than that for that conference. So, again, he was obviously a very big contributor to the Aztecs, and here he is now at the Super Bowl. So, yeah, lots of fun stuff going on. Obviously, we got a chance to talk more about the game up until this point and with opening night last night, but we also had a chance today to check out the NFL Fan Experience, which I believe is opening its doors tomorrow. So, lots of fun stuff for the fans to do over there. I know me and Chaz were trying some stuff out earlier.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good time. But we were throwing balls, trying to hit the net just like Aaron Rodgers does at training camp, kicking some field goals, nailing some extra points, running the 40-yard dash, some bench press. Also got to see a lot of other cool things. They had stuff, for example, that you could see what the inside of an NFL locker room would be like. You could go through like what it'd be like to go up on an NFL draft stage. So we'll have a lot of that for you guys later on this week. We'll show you exactly what that is. But it's been a lot of fun so far. Seen a lot of cool people, been able to interact with a lot of stars from around the NFL and the media side.
Yeah, absolutely. We've obviously seen everybody walking around, and where we're at right now, Mandalay Bay, this is pretty much the hub of the Super Bowl, even though it's not quite the stadium close by, not too far away, but this is where the media area is. It's where they're holding the fan experience that we just mentioned a second ago. And hey, this isn't the only hub. We were also going down the strip earlier, driving down from the Venetian, and we saw some of the studio setups that the other networks have as well, and yeah, a lot of stars.
Yeah, the strip hasn't quite been popping yet this week. Just like you guys down in Yuma and across the desert Southwest and the West Coast for that matter, we've been getting a lot of rain. We got a little soaked yesterday walking into the stadium, as did basically everybody else. It's coming down here just like it is back at home.
Yeah, I think we saw the worst of it yesterday. We woke up in our hotel room and we just saw the rain absolutely coming down, and we ended up getting soaked on the way to Allegiant Stadium yesterday as well. So we've had to kind of brave the elements so far, but right now we're hoping that the worst of it is behind us. We're looking forward to hopefully better and definitely drier conditions throughout the rest of the week here.
Yeah, and absolutely. I'm just excited for the rest of the week. We're going to get more opportunities to talk to the players, more opportunities to interact with other media people, and just truly experience what the Super Bowl is, because it really is bringing people from around the country to one place, from all over the place, people from around the world as well. We've talked to people from Germany, we've talked to people from France, even saw some guys from China. So the Super Bowl really is more than just a U.S. cultural event. It's a world phenomenon.
Yeah, it really is crazy to see just how many people are interested in this game. Obviously, we know what a big deal it is here in the States, but to see all the different media that's been accredited to this, and then just being around opening night, I heard, a lot of different languages going on around the press areas. So.
Before we wrap this up, I got one last question. What would you say is your favorite part so far?
Favorite part so far, I do have to say we got a chance to try some of the food that people are going to get, our fans are going to get at Allegiant Stadium this Sunday, and
some Wagyu steak.
Absolutely, yeah. They spared
lobster?
No expense treating us yesterday. That was very impressive. Like Chaz just said, lobster, Wagyu steak, definitely a step above just like hot dogs and French fries and a soda for us yesterday. They really know how to put on a show over there.
You know what? I was going to say that, but I think I'm going to have to tease what these folks back at home are going to see later on this week. I got the opportunity to interview Taylor Lewan, former Arizona high school football player, went to Michigan, former NFL left tackle, and there was a special guest that may or may not have crashed our interview that produced some laughs. So it's going to be a real fun one, so make sure to stay tuned for that as well.
Absolutely.
And also stay tuned for all of our coverage all week long right here on News 11 and on our website across the desert Southwest. But yeah, from Mandalay Bay, I'm Chaz Messman. That's Luis Lopez. We'll see you soon.